Let us take a look at today's chapter and today's topic, continuation for the last video. And we have learned one of the 8 marks question in the last class. In this class, let us learn one more question from this chapter, Biology in Human Welfare. So the next coming second question, second long answer in this chapter is life cycle of ascaris lumbricoides. Let us learn it with the help of diagram. Ascaris lumbricoides is commonly called a common roundworm. What is that called? Common roundworm. Basically, it is one of the most enteric parasite. What is that called? It is one of the most enteric parasite. Commonly lives in the intestine of man. It is monogenetic parasite. Basically, it is a monogenetic parasite. It is a dimorphic parasite, monogenetic and dimorphic pseudocoelomate parasite. What is that? Pseudocoelomate parasite that lives in the small intestine of man. It is cosmopolitan in distribution. Mode of infection, how it transfer from one place to another place. It is transferring from one place to another place, contaminating through food and water. And infective stage, embryonic egg with second stage rhabditiform larva. Rhabditiform larva. Larval stage is present, which means indirect development is there. Structure. If you take the structure of this parasite, sexes are separated. At the same time, sexual dimorphism is well developed. Dimorphism is distinct. Both males and females are separated, and body is elongated. At the same time, body is cylindrical in shape. The body is cylindrical in shape. Mouth is present extremely at the anterior end. The mouth is surrounded by chitinous lips. What are they? Chitinous lips. Close to the mouth ventrally, there is a small aperture is present here. This small aperture is nothing but the excretory pore by which excretion happens, or excretory materials are excreted. How males looks like? Males have, if you carefully see the males, they have curved posterior end. Curved posterior end. The curved posterior end possesses a cloacal aperture. What it possesses? Cloacal aperture. And a pair of equal sized chitinous pineal spicules are present. Chitinous pineal spicules are also known as pineal setae, which helps to transfer the sperm cells during the time of fertilization or copulation. Now, females, if you see, it has striated posterior end and tail. Female genital pore, if you take the female genital pore or vulva, female genital pore that is present at the mid-ventral line of the body from 1/3 length from mouth. Here, anus is present a little in front of the tail end. A little in front of tail end, anus is present. Now see the life cycle diagram of ascaris. This is a male ascaris indicated by arrow mark. This is the female ascaris indicated by plus. You can see the eggs of ascaris. Okay. After copulation and fertilization, female releases approximately 2 lakhs eggs per day. Each egg is surrounded by, if you take the egg, each egg is surrounded by a lipid coat and protein coat with a rippled surface. Hence, such kind of eggs are commonly called as the mammillated eggs. What are they called? Mammillated eggs. Such kind of eggs are called as a mammillated eggs. Okay. Here, these mammillated eggs, whatever their protein coat is well developed with a chitinous shell and a lipid layer internally. Apart from this, the eggs are passed along with the fecal matter in this moist soil in the moist soil. Development takes place inside the eggshell. Development takes place inside the eggshell and transforms into first stage rhabditiform larva. What is that? First stage rhabditiform larva. It undergoes first molting and produces the second stage rhabditiform larva. Second stage rhabditiform larva. Here, if you carefully see, in the human alimentary canal of man, through the contaminated food and water, it enters into the alimentary canal. The second stage rhabditiform larva. Even the second stage rhabditiform larva, what is that? The second stage rhabditiform larva is also a highly infective stage to man. In the small intestine, the shell gets dissolved and second stage larva is released. Now it undergoes extraintestinal migration. First it reaches liver through the hepatic portal vein. From there it enters into the heart through the postcaval veins. You know postcaval veins, right? Now from the heart finally they goes to the lungs by pulmonary artery. They goes to lungs by pulmonary artery. Pulmonary artery carries deoxygenated blood towards the lungs for oxygenation. In the lungs, what happens? Lungs contains alveoli, microscopic chambers called alveoli. It undergoes second molting to produce a third stage larva. What is that? Third stage larva. Then it undergoes third molting and produces fourth stage larva inside the alveoli only. It leaves the alveoli of the lungs and reaches the small intestine again. Reaches the small intestine again. In the small intestine, how it reach to the small intestine? In the small intestine, what happens that we will see later. But how it reaches to the small intestine? Through bronchi of the lungs. Bronchi opens into from bronchi to trachea. Through the trachea, it enters into larynx. Through the larynx, it enters into glottis. Through the glottis, it reaches to the pharynx. Reaches to the pharynx. Through the pharynx, it goes into esophagus. From the esophagus, it enters into the stomach. Like this, it passes from one stage to another stage. Finally, in the small intestine, it undergoes fourth molting. It undergoes fourth molting or fourth transformation. It undergoes for fourth molting to become young one or an young one, which attains sexual maturity within 8 to 10 weeks. Like this, it completes its life cycle. The disease is generally caused by this parasite is called ascariasis. What is that called? Ascariasis. The disease is asymptomatic when the less number of worms are present. When the less number of worms are present. If number of worms are increased, heavy infection can cause. Heavy infection can cause nutritional deficiency and severe abdominal pain. Even it causes stunted growth in children's. Stunted growth in children's. That's all.